In the upcoming episode airing Monday, May 12th, viewers are about to witness a storyline brimming with betrayal, desperation, and unintended consequences, one that could change the lives of multiple beloved characters forever. At the center of it all stands Philip Kiriakis, Jean-Paul Lavoisier, whose ambition and recklessness might not only endanger his own reputation but could also cost his brother Beau Brady, Peter Reckle, the last chance he has at survival. The weekly promo hints ominously at what's to come, suggesting that one man's greed could be his brother's undoing. And as the scenes unfold, that man turns out to be none other than Philip himself. Philip's secret ambition and his deeply personal motive. This isn't just a case of theft. This is a complicated web of emotional desperation and misplaced judgment. Philip isn't trying to hurt Beau. In fact, quite the opposite. But his methods are dangerously misguided. You see, Philip has been fixated on the files of Demera Pharmaceuticals, eyeing them with a mixture of curiosity and urgency. Hidden within those records is something he believes could not only bring him redemption but also restore a sliver of his family's legacy. There's a miracle treatment locked behind secure lab doors, a cutting-edge sepsis medication called Versavix, rumored to be the last and only hope for Beau, who remains in critical condition. To Philip, this serum represents salvation, not only for Beau, but perhaps for his own soul, long weighed down by years of estrangement, resentment, and poor decisions. But Philip doesn't believe he has time to go through proper channels. He fears bureaucracy will move too slowly. He doesn't trust the Demeras. And deep down, perhaps he wants to be the one to deliver the cure, to be seen as the savior instead of the screw-up. If he can get his hands on Versavix and bring it to Beau first, before anyone else, he could reclaim a sense of worth in a family that's always doubted him. A dangerous deal in the shadows. In the Monday episode, Philip is shown in a suspicious phone call, clearly orchestrating something underhanded. Not long after, he meets with a man named Kevin who works inside the prestigious medical research facility overseen by Dr. Jeffrey Russell, Michael Dietz. Philip has selected Kevin for one reason: access. As it turns out, Kevin has just enough clearance to retrieve a highly sensitive tray of experimental vials, each one containing a dose of Versavix. Philip wastes no time. He persuades Kevin to take a risky step, break protocol, enter the secure lab after hours, and remove the tray before anyone else can find it. At first, Kevin resists, but Philip offers an undisclosed reward, or perhaps dangles some form of leverage. Kevin ultimately agrees, and before long, the deed is done. The vials are taken. The lab is breached. The theft is complete. Or so they think. Steve and Sean's plan goes up in smoke unbeknownst to Philip. Two other men are already planning their own desperate act. Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, and Sean Brady, Brandon Beamer, have uncovered information that leads them to believe that the lab holds the key to Beau's recovery. With Beau's condition worsening, the two plot a stealth mission to recover a vial of Versavix themselves, hoping to save Beau without delay. The timing, however, couldn't be worse. When Steve and Sean break into the lab under cover of night, expecting to find the serum in its designated cabinet, they are stunned. The door is already ajar. Inside, the compartment is empty. Not a single vial remains. Panic sets in immediately. Someone else has beaten them to it. A catastrophic mistake? As the story continues to unfold, rumors swirl that not only has the drug been stolen, but something even worse may have occurred. The fragile glass vials might have been mishandled or broken during the escape. If the miracle serum has been compromised, if even one vial was destroyed, the consequences could be fatal. Time is already against them. Beau's condition is deteriorating by the hour. Any delay, let alone total loss of the serum, could push him beyond the point of no return. And here's the most painful twist: Philip never intended to hurt Beau. But in trying to play hero, in trying to seize control of the situation and make a grand gesture, he may have inadvertently doomed the very man he was trying to save. The cost of good intentions, the aftermath of Philip's actions, will be far-reaching. Once Steve and Sean discover the truth, fury and disbelief will follow. The rest of Salem may not be so quick to forgive, especially if Beau's condition worsens as a direct result of this botched operation. For Philip, guilt may soon eclipse pride. He wanted to be the one to save the day, but instead he may be remembered as the man who stole hope and shattered it into pieces. Whether he did this for redemption, control, or family pride, one thing is clear: good intentions, when clouded by secrecy and ego, can lead to devastating outcomes. As the week continues, Days of Our Lives promises even more twists in this dramatic arc. Will Bo survive? Will the serum be recovered? And will Philip be forced to face the consequences of a plan that spiraled far beyond his control? Next, Monday's episode of Days of Our Lives proves just that. A family war rekindled. Kristen and Brady explode. The episode kicks off with an emotionally charged showdown between Kristen DiMera and Brady Black, a clash that's been brewing for months. At the center of their argument lies their daughter, Rachel Black, an innocent girl caught between two parents who love her but can't stop fighting over how she should be raised. What begins as a simple disagreement over Rachel's therapy quickly escalates into a verbal brawl. Years of bitterness, broken trust, and personal grievances resurface. Kristen hurls accusations of neglect, while Brady fires back with sharp critiques of Kristen's manipulations and questionable parenting tactics. Despite both wanting what they believe is best for Rachel, their methods and motives couldn't be more different. Each believes the other is toxic, incapable of putting Rachel's needs first. And as their voices rise and tempers flare, it becomes clear that this conflict is far from over. There are no winners in this war, only casualties, and Rachel may be the one to suffer most. Johnny confesses a dark thought about EJ. Elsewhere in Salem, Johnny DiMera wrestles with a disturbing admission. In a private conversation with his wife, Chanel Dupree DiMera, he finally opens up about a burden that has been weighing heavily on his conscience. Johnny reveals that, in a moment of weakness and frustration, he had a dark thought about his own father, EJ DiMera. He wished him dead. This confession stuns Chanel. But more importantly, it raises questions about Johnny's emotional state and the extent of the tension between father and son. Johnny is quick to clarify he didn't shoot EJ. But with the recent mysterious shooting incident still clouded in uncertainty, such a statement, especially from a family member, does little to ease suspicion. As Chanel processes Johnny's words, it becomes clear that trust will be tested. Johnny's guilt might not be tied to the act itself, but to the thought he allowed to cross his mind. In Salem, where secrets fester and whispers travel fast, such a confession could have dangerous consequences, especially if it reaches the wrong ears. Philip's shadowy scheme emerges. Meanwhile, another storm is brewing in the shadows, and this time it's Philip Kyriakis pulling the strings. Desperate to regain control over his own life and perhaps restore some semblance of honor to his family name, Philip hatches a risky and illegal plan. He's been reviewing confidential files from DiMera Pharmaceuticals and has set his sights on a revolutionary drug, a miracle treatment called Versavix. Versavix isn't just any medication. It's an experimental serum with the power to cure sepsis, a dangerous and potentially fatal infection. And right now, one man in Salem needs it more than anyone: Bo Brady. Philip's plan is to steal it. He doesn't want to hurt Bo. On the contrary, he wants to be the one who saves him. But Philip doesn't trust anyone else to act quickly enough. Not the authorities. Not the doctors. Not even Bo's closest allies. To him, waiting for approval or protocol is a luxury Bo doesn't have. So Philip reaches out to Kevin, a man with access to the lab where Versavix is stored. He convinces Kevin to steal the tray of vials, believing this act of theft will be a heroic gesture. A way to not only save Bo but prove that Philip is more than a disappointment. What Philip doesn't realize is that this reckless move could unravel everything. If even one vial breaks, or if the serum is lost, Bo's only hope for survival. Steve and Sean's mission fails. Too late. While Philip executes his plan in the shadows, Steve Johnson and Sean Brady are putting together their own daring rescue operation. Aware of how critical Versavix is for Bo, they plan to break into the lab and steal a single dose to administer immediately. Their timing is tragically off. When Steve and Sean arrive, they find the cabinet door hanging open. The vials are gone. There's no sign of Versavix anywhere. Confusion quickly gives way to panic. Has someone else beaten them to it? Or worse, has the drug been destroyed? Viewers will be left holding their breath as the full consequences of Philip's actions begin to unravel. Time is no longer on Bo's side. And if the serum is lost, the finger-pointing will begin, and Philip will be in the crosshairs. A young man's future, and someone watching in another corner of Salem, a more hopeful scene unfolds. Holly Jonas offers words of encouragement to Doug Williams III, a young man standing at the edge of a major life decision. Doug has been offered a job by Roman Brady, but doubts himself. Is he ready? Does he deserve a fresh start? Holly believes he does. Her pep talk is more than friendly advice. It's a heartfelt speech filled with vision, hope, and belief in second chances. She sees potential in Doug and urges him to embrace the opportunity with both hands. But all is not as it seems. Unbeknownst to them, someone is watching. A hidden camera records their conversation. The same individual who has been spying on them may now be preparing to strike. Doug's past may be coming back to haunt him, and Holly could be caught in the crossfire. The episode hints at darker forces lurking as criminals begin circling Doug once again, demanding money. The threats aren't idle, and as danger creeps closer, it becomes clear that Doug's fresh start may come at a steep cost.